everyone. Thank you for being here. I want to make a special acknowledgement to our elected officials. Today we have here Vice Mayor Woodrow Hay, Commissioner Thomas Turkin, Commissioner Amy Kelly. We also have, not here in attendance, but our Mayor Shelton and our Commissioner Cruz, all supporters of law enforcement, public safety being the #1 goal here in our city, and they fully back and support the police department, and we are truly appreciative of everything they've done for us to allow us to be in these positions. Here we are here today. I also want to acknowledge Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. We have Colonel Masri. We have Major Poston. Also behind me I have, from my left, is West Palm Beach Police Department's Assistant Chief Spatera. I also have from FDLE, Resident Agent in Charge Thomas. And then behind me I have Special Agent in Charge Vecchio. And all to my complete right is one of our leaders in this investigation, Sergeant Darren Whitefield, and his team did a fantastic job with this case. So I stand here before you to share the results of a major law enforcement operation led by the Boynton Beach Police Department and the Drug Enforcement Administration's Group 2 out of West Palm Beach, also in collaboration with our federal, state, and local partners. This investigation began with a single drug complaint back in July of 2024. A small tip ultimately led to uncover a major drug trafficking organization operating through Palm Beach County and Broward counties. 3 simple handwritten letters were mailed to the Boynton Beach Police Department. This illustrates the power of strong community relationships and public trust. Over the past year, our narcotics unit, working closely with our law enforcement partners, built this case. And on Wednesday, September 3rd, we reached a pivotal moment in that investigation. In a highly coordinated effort, 15 search warrants were executed simultaneously across multiple jurisdictions, with 2 additional warrants served before and 1 additional this morning, for a total of 18 search warrants. This operation culminated in an arrest of 19 individuals connected to the drug trafficking organizations. What we seized as a result of this operation is significant. We seized over 5 kilos of narcotics, to include cocaine and fentanyl, 6 handguns, 2 semi-automatic rifles, $450,000, 11 vehicles and a boat, and more arrests are expected. This operation represents the very best of multi-agency collaboration. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what patch you have on your shirt. The goal is the same: keep our community safe. I want to personally thank the following agencies for their partnership and commitment to public safety: the Drug Enforcement Administration, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, the Florida Highway Patrol, Broward County Sheriff's Office, Fort Lauderdale Police Department, West Palm Beach Police Department, Delray Beach Police Department, the Boca Raton Police Department, the U.S. Marshals Service, and the Office of Statewide Prosecution. This support was instrumental in the safe and successful execution of this operation. I also want to recognize the tireless work of our narcotics detectives, led by Sergeant Whitefield, and our agency as a whole, who spent more than a year putting this case together, from sworn personnel to professional staff. The execution of this operation was a complete team effort, and we are not done yet. It is important to note that we will continue to use all our resources available to dismantle criminal organizations and protect our communities from the harm caused by illegal drugs and violence. To the residents of Boynton Beach and the broader South Florida region, know this: we will continue to pursue those who traffic drugs, guns, and violence in our neighborhoods. Thank you. Now I'm going to turn it over to Special Agent in Charge John Vecchio.
Good morning. I'm John Vecchio. I'm the Special Agent in Charge for the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Miami Regional Operations Center. Thank you, Chief, and to all of our law enforcement partners that you see represented here today. The State Assistance for Fentanyl Eradication, or SAFE program, would not be successful without the strong partnerships, as is demonstrated today, by the number of law enforcement partners and agencies that you see represented here. Without SAFE funding, investigations like this would not be possible. The ability to conduct prolonged, multi-jurisdictional operations are costly. These SAFE grants allow for law enforcement to expand their boundaries, to close on the gaps of these drug organizations that span several counties. Next month, it will be 2 years since FDLE implemented the SAFE program. Since then, with our partners, we have made significant progress in removing drugs from our streets and dismantling drug trafficking organizations. FDLE has assisted more than 85 police departments and sheriff's offices in prioritizing this issue through funding, personnel, and investigative support. Since 2023, FDLE has helped agencies across Florida seize more than 485 pounds of fentanyl, seized more than $4.5 million in cash, more than 730 weapons, and has arrested more than 2,100 criminals connected to the stream of fentanyl in Florida. Fentanyl is deadly and appears in almost every drug seized by the police departments in this state. It is our mission at FDLE to promote public safety and to continue our partnerships to eradicate this poison from our communities. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to open up to any questions that you may have.
So in the Broward County location, I think that was close to Fort Lauderdale, there were a lot going on while you were those flashbangs, things like that. Can you kind of talk about each different scenario and seeing it from Boynton Beach and from Broward County, what you had to do to really make sure you're able to bust everyone and get everything in hand?
Well, when you're dealing with the multiple jurisdictions and multiple agencies, to do it simultaneously is very difficult. I can't speak on specifically what happened at each location, because each location presented the unique challenges, and every SWAT team operates very similar, but they do have some of their nuances. So I don't necessarily know what the issue in Fort Lauderdale was and how it was executed, but we can tell you that the execution was seamless. No one got hurt. Everybody was taken into custody. The officers were safe, and those in the houses were safe as well.
And is this common? How many per year, or I don't know if you have any statistics, but how much would you say of this do you guys have to do per year? Is it a growing problem in this area of South Florida?
Are you talking about the larger scale operation?
Yes, just drug
Yeah.
trafficking in general.
Well, we've done 2 large operations with the assistance of the SAFE grant since 2023, so in the period of like a year and a half. It takes a lot. It honestly does. There's a lot of moving parts that go along with a drug investigation. There's a lot of evidence that needs to be, obtained. These are the people you see here are not street level drug dealers. These are high level drug suppliers. So it's not easy to get to these individuals unless you put a lot of time and effort into these investigations.
And in this specific operation, was everyone caught?
We have people outstanding.
Would you know how many? Are you allowed to speak on details of that?
I'm not going to speak on the details of that, though.
A message for them.
The message, like I said when I originally spoke, is that we will use all resources to make sure our communities are safe, reducing and removing guns and drugs, reducing violence in our communities.
Can you talk a little bit about the operation itself? Like, what were they doing? How were they operating within themselves, or the cells, or what were they exactly doing?
You want to handle that one?
Yeah, sure. Can you speak? I'm sorry. Can you come up?
I'll come up here.
Thank you.
So as this investigation started, it started with one individual, and as it continued, we realized there was probably 2 or 3 other major players in this investigation that were sourcing some of these other gentlemen on this board that you see here. When we finally got up and figured out exactly who was what in terms of how big they were, how much drugs they were moving, we were able to put together a sort of a hierarchy of this one. This particular DTO wasn't operating as strict as our previous one that we had. It was kind of more of a loose fit in terms of who reports to who type of thing. For this type of group right here, it was more one person would have a decent amount, another person may be out because their supplier from wherever it's coming in at wasn't able to get their shipment of cocaine or fentanyl in over here to Florida. So they would source another top tier drug dealer as well. So that's how they all started to connect together. And like I said, this started with just a simple written letter addressing a complaint about drug trafficking on their street that they felt. And from there, it just grew. And as we continued to investigate it, we just found more and more and more people that were involved with this.
Is there a ringleader per se, like that you
In-
would focus more on, or who started it all?
No, like I said, this DTO is a little bit different than the ones that we've worked in the past. This one, there was really no main hierarchy, like in terms of like, this is the main guy. Now that we have everything, and everything's starting to come down, we'll look at what we have and see if we can identify that person, of course, and continue to work up this chain here.
And then, were they specifically working out of homes or businesses, or where were they operating from?
Mostly homes. A lot of them had, two different homes. They had one that they sleep at, and then they had one that they would do their drug activity at. Whether that's an apartment or condo, that's what we found. Several of them did have two different locations that they would stay at or be paying for.
With the borders closed since President Trump came in office, have you seen a decrease in fentanyl and drugs coming in? And is this type of drug, like merchandise that was already here before the closure of the border?
That I don't know when their shipments came in or anything like that. I do know that I would say that definitely they did have trouble during a period of this investigation of obtaining a larger quantity of drugs. We ran across that several times where somebody would reach out to purchase a kilo or 2 kilos of cocaine, and they wouldn't have it because their source wasn't able to get it.
So it is effective, obviously, though.
Yeah, I would say yes.
And then, can you talk about how, like, it's multi-agency, so were they, like, purchasing from, let's say, Boynton or Fort Lauderdale or something like that, like, back and forth, like, how was everything connected?
Correct. So like I've mentioned before, some of these larger supplies we'd get from Riviera. Other ones would come from Broward. Some of them would be just local areas of Boynton Beach sourcing out. So they came from really all over. There was never one particular location that we found was like, this is where everything is coming to. And that's common. When the drugs come over here, they get sourced out pretty quick.
Can you please state your name and title?
Yep, Sergeant Darren Whitefield. I'm a detective sergeant with our narcotics unit here at Boynton Beach.
Can you talk about the letter that was sent that started this whole operation, and what is the importance for the community to send these guys?
So a lot of times we receive drug complaints, through Crime Stoppers or through our tip line here with the city. It's not common for us to get letters in the mail, but we don't care where the tips come from. We get them, we look at them, we investigate them and see if they meet our criteria to be able to investigate, or if there's enough there to go on. The letter in itself, it's just a pretty generic, basic letter. Very minimum information was provided, but it was enough for us to hone in on potential targets, and we went with that.
Was there a person that you were able to contact for that letter, or was it anonymous?
No, have no clue who wrote that letter.
A business owner or a homeowner?
They didn't say.
So it was anonymous, basically?
Yes.
So what do you have to say to other members of the community to, spread the word?
Continue to give us our tips. I know there may be times that you submit a tip and you feel like nothing is being done about it or nothing was done about it, and it's not that we're ignoring you. We work every tip that we get. Sometimes with the information that we were provided, we just don't have enough to launch a full investigation on it. However, if more information comes forward from your original tip that they submit, feel free to resubmit with additional information that you have. And like we said, your name's held out of it. We don't care who you are. Just provide us with the information. We'll work with what we got.
Which was like the aha moment where you realized, like, wow, this is bigger than what we thought, or?
That was basic surveillance. Just watching the targets, seeing who they were speaking with. My detectives, they know an extraordinary amount about the criminals of this city. It's pretty impressive. So when they see a certain individual meeting up with another individual, it's kind of like, okay, we may have something here. and then you see that person meet with someone else, it continues to grow like that.
Are we talking about dozens more, or how many more arrests could be made?
Several more will be made.
So this is an ongoing investigation?
Yes, it is, yes.
How long has it taken to get to this point? Like how long of an investigation? Are we talking months, weeks?
Yes, so we started, I want to say it's taken 14 months to get here to this point. The first few months are spent just seeing if the original tip was any good and seeing what we got and who's in play here. And then over the last 70 days is when we really ramped it up, where we were on these guys 70 days straight, 12, 16 hours a day, following them around.
We're here in Boynton Beach today. I mean, were the majority of these guys apprehended in Boynton Beach, or all over?
All over. I would say we have I think 4 of the ones that we have up there right now were Boynton Beach residents. The rest were spread out through Lake Worth, Riviera, West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, Boca.
Do they each go to I mean, they're all in Palm Beach County Jail, they go to, like, how do you sort them out?
They're all in Palm Beach County Jail.
And when you guys mentioned the narcotics, is that mainly cocaine, fentanyl? Is there anything else specifically?
Marijuana was recovered as well.
And is there any evidence of maybe like fentanyl overdose or someone getting seriously hurt?
No, we weren't able to connect any of our overdose cases that we had with any of these individuals.
This is just like drug trafficking charges, all of these 19?
Yes, conspiracy to traffic fentanyl and cocaine for most of them.
The one thing I want to highlight, and Sergeant Whitefield kind of hit it, is the criminals don't have jurisdictional boundaries. They go wherever, and traditionally law enforcement has jurisdictional boundaries. So that's what the importance of collaboration and cooperation with the agencies behind me is, that while working together, we no longer have jurisdictional issues. And I think that's the really important thing with this investigation and the collaboration is that we're operating without the jurisdictional constraints that we would normally have, and because of that, it's a game changer. Any other questions? I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank the elected officials for their support, and you guys have a great day.
Nobody speaks Spanish, no? Just, I have to ask. Have this individual also.
With the cameras. Rachel, get the cameras there.